Okay, so let's come back and analyze this market. The key feature of oligopoly is that um, firms are interdependent, and that's the key feature for oligopoly. They're interdependent. So that means the action they want to take depends on the actions of others, right? So the action they want to take depends on actions. So this is they're very interdependent, and that's because there's few of them. So when there's many of them, when you have 100 or 200 or 300 restaurants in an area, then you don't really care if one single restaurant is giving a discount, right? But if there's only four big companies competing in an area, then if one of them gives a discount, the other ones have to react in some way, right? Um, so they can, and there's kind of two opposite things that they can do. So they can fight, right? This is so fight. What we define by fight would be lower price or increase output. Those are kind of two sides of the same coin, right? Because increasing output it will end up lowering prices, or they can collude to raise prices like a monopoly. Okay, so remember back the monopolist and also the monopolistic competition to some extent. So the monopolist restricted output to raise the prices if they're left alone to do what they want, right? The problem that happens here in this type of market, and we're going to model this in just a second, the problem that goes on here is in this type of market, if you say, okay, I'm going to restrict my output to raise my prices, right? Then your competitor will say, oh, perfect, I'm going to lower my price just a little and take your customers, right? And so your competitor puts pressure on you if you raise your prices because to restrict your output and try to get more profit. Your competitor can swoop in and steal your customers by undercutting you. Okay, and so that's a big problem. Now it's not as in other markets. It's different. For example, in monopoly, no one can come in because there's no competitor, right? So in this one, we have competitors, and those competitors are large. So if they take action, it's going to have an effect on us. So this is the key feature. We're interdependent. Now we could collude to raise our prices. How do we collude? Well, we can do this implicitly. So like you play nice, I'll play nice, and we both keep our prices high. And as long as the other person doesn't do a price cut, we don't do a price cut, right? So this is a type of implicit collusion where you're not actually communicating with each other. Or sometimes firms can illegally communicate with each other and agree to fix the price somewhere and to not lower it, right? And in this way, they're colluding together, and sometimes they form a formal agreement called a cartel, colluding together to raise the prices, and they're making their firms are then behaving like a monopoly, right? So you could see, for example, if Coke and Pepsi did this, then they would raise that. You'd see the price go up in all the stores for Coke and Pepsi, and they would have a deal behind closed doors that they were going to keep it there so as not to undercut each other. Okay, so now luckily that kind of behavior is illegal. If people are caught doing it, they can go to jail. The implicit one is not illegal because they didn't agree to do anything and they don't have any kind of deal, and they're just kind of cooperating but without actually talking to each other. But once they talk to each other and agree on something like this is actually illegal, which is a good thing because it protects the consumers. Okay, so we're gonna use something. So we're gonna to analyze this kind of market. So we're gonna use game theory because of this interdependent behavior. And we're gonna first we're gonna look at a basic game, and then we'll come back and look at a game in this type of market. Okay, and so some of you who are maybe from political science or international studies, you may see game theory in other areas because it's now also widely used in things like international relations as well. All right, so let's come back for that one.